Alright, I'ma say it. Pink Friday 2 could be the perfect ending to Nicki Minaj's career. The curtain call, the credits rolling to her near flawless career. And no, dog, I don't mean for her to bring all of her musical endeavors to an abrupt halt, and for her to stop rapping forever after this. Even if I wanted her to, I'm sure she will not, as I'm sure she will still do the occasional guest appearance, performances, singles here and there for herself and on other projects and remixes. That's what she thrives off of and literally made a name of herself from. And hey, you know what they say about the rappers, athletes, and all-round entertainers being notorious for not ever really retiring, even when they probably should and say they will. 50-50 because of their never-ending blinding love and passion for curating and entertaining, and just not knowing anything else but that. Besides, I wouldn't want her to just up and quit, period. But as for an entire album, like a project with singles and a lead up with a whole look and rollout to it, wait, I think so. I think she should wrap it up around here, cause looking at her career retrospectively, not including mixtapes, re-releases, re-ups, reloaded, and re-podcast, and nigga run your shit, you gon' buy this shit right now. Being the artist that she is, there's always been a pattern to her releases and the gaps in between. And if we should wait another 5+ years for it, the next time she drops an album, that's if this one drops when expected, I'ma be touching my early 30s, my boy. And I don't know about y'all, but I'ma be well endowed in my jazz era. Fuck you mean? But enough about my insecurity of growing old and looking nothing like our queen. Remember when I said near flawless? As in almost? As in close? As in not any of these hoes with my bay in this race dusting their ass with ease? Go Shikari! Well, that is because queen does exist. And now that we have that out the way, let's get into everything we know about Pink Friday Deuce and where it stands as of now. Claimed to being released November 17th of this year, the sequel to her, I think it's safe to say both 2010 modern day hip hop fused with pop crossover juggernaut classic, has been teased ever since his predecessor touched the shelves. Whether if it was coming from the lyrics within her songs, cryptic social media posts and announcements, moments between her and her fans, at shows, on late night television, the self-proclaimed fierce, fun, and unapologetic effort, despite feeling like a fever dream, we all just knew that somehow, some way, someday, it was gonna see the light of day with some fat ass shoes to fill, literally, and did a pretty solid job with the first single to come out of it, Super Freaky Girl, which is admittedly, as much as I find it annoying and its overuse of a fire sample, even the hook was weird to me at first, it just wasn't doing it for me. I couldn't get into it for real. And that was probably the issue, but it grew on me as it was different, something that her catalog and new music needed. But regardless of that, you couldn't deny the smash hit it grew to be, absolutely burying these rap bitches for a hot minute, debuting at #1 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Hip Hop R&B charts. It has that vibe and aesthetic to it, and especially in the video, with the whole Barbie theme that was completely missing from her craft in at least the last couple of years. It reminds you of who she is and how she made it in this game, keeping that Pink Friday-esque energy with the jumpy, party-like, inviting, creative feeling it has, and it makes for, if intended, a great lead single. And Nicki ain't let up either, as she followed that up with the bar-heavy, in-your-face, so fucked up on so many levels, yet so clever one-liner that really helps stamping it as one of the best hip-hop songs as well as beats of the year in the even better Red Ruby the Sleaze, where she's very much in her current era, using the flows and rapping on beats in the style she's developed now, but in this new alter ego, this character, Red Ruby the Sleaze, where she's stunting, rapping with a sort of aggression we've never heard her use before, sort of gangsta, embracing her Caribbean culture, definitely dissing more female rappers, and no, not you, Ruby, that for right now is unsure of being on the actual album itself, but I sure hope it does, or at least Ruby makes a few appearances. And now, false release dates after more tweets, after technical difficult-filled IG lives, more tweets, I don't know, probably another young aspiring female rapper beef or two in there I'm sure, and more tweets, all catching us up to her latest confirmed second release single for the album, The Slice of Life, Ice Cream with the Top Down doing 60 down the freeway in 2006, Last Time I Saw You, and VMA performance where she performed that, as well as with a couple of her other actual known hits, knows. And I say known as, you know, I like Last Time That I Saw You. She sounds so good. You can tell she was just feeling herself and having a good time in there. And just how easy singing is to her. And if she really wanted to go pop, she really could shit on all y'all niggas. Alright, let me stop. I like it. I very much so do. But apparently y'all don't, as that motherfucker ain't last a damn time on the charts. But no worries, as at that VMA performance, none of that was even a concern. That iconic performance, it was tear-jerking almost, as she did those and the now viral snippeted Big Difference. Looking top 5 and 40. You young hoes should be ashamed.
You said you look up the hot, but really you look at the man.
Can't forget to mention the leaked Bomb Bomb track. That shit is so fun. The songs are good. The mere singles, a slice between rap and pop, and Hear Me Out, where she could possibly top PF1. Not including Reloaded, cause that's cheating, my nigga. Wherein that kinda lacked the hard rap Chun-Li, early mixtape type bars and flows, and mainly had songs like Your Love and Dominoes. These dated sounding songs now. I mean, come on, Starships, Gangnam Style was a while ago.
Gangnam Style.
Which are great in their own regard, diversifying her artistry. Those songs are arguably the ones that made her blow, but at the same time, you can't lie and say that those songs, especially Save Me, didn't kind of ruin, discredit, and taint her image at the beginning, making her easy to be counted out, not considered a rapper. Or did Safari do that for me?
What you play with my dear?
What the fuck?
Corny ass nigga.
Pink Friday Reloaded kinda helped, but didn't do her too many favors either. Looking at these full-blown pop songs that we got, that is cool, since she never truly got back in that bag again, like she should've, but it's balanced out now, I feel like. As we look back on the now triple platinum album, with its diamond single, a culmination of PF's1 impact being an all-time bestseller as far as all music goes, Grammy Award nominated for that, best video for this, breaking this record for the first black female rapper to do so, breaking barriers for female rappers to be what they are now. But hey, it's a new time. We don't need those same vibes exactly, but a return to form, and to come back where it all started whilst in her new form. She's upped the ante, set the bar, is looked at in a different light today in 2023 than she was in 2010, and has gotten better for real. And all of what she's been through and learned throughout her tenure should reflect here. Now she seems bubbly, fun, in good spirits, smiling more, is a mother to a lot of you bitches and niggas, you too, and more importantly is making hits, unlike the 2018 Queen album, which I'ma just have to get into now, A dark time, the era that changed everything forever. All y'all Nicki fans know the civil war y'all was fighting online every day because of it, on the Confederate side and shit. She was horrible, miserable, angsty, entitlement, bitter, defensive, loud, low-key hypocritical, threatening, unrecognizable to her former self. We don't talk about the Queen era, man. I mean, the entire rollout of it was her just going on an angry podcast world tour, comparing herself to Harriet fucking Tubman, bro. Cursing now and putting Funk Flex and Joe Budden and the Reese's Boys, as I like to call them, in chokeholds, trying to convince us with a podcast followed up with way too many sound effects on how she's so great, why we should bow down, but old niggas hating and want to see one of the best-selling artists of all time fall. Give me a break. She had bird ladies fighting with themselves. I think she had Smoke with a Baby. She wasn't very likable, to say the least. Just saying she's the best, with not one single lasting hit on the album outside of the what felt like year-out release prior Chun-Li. Spazzing on anyone for anything, bruh. Damn. Delusional if you think she had a better album than Mr. Auto-Tune Man, right? Like, I even think the bars would agree with me there, right? Put her there, pal. It's literally all I remember out of it. All the promo that went into it was just that. Turned me off her for real. It was like she was asking for the hate train after a while. That believe it or not, I think I was on at one point. Having certain takes, calling for her to just retire already if you're gonna go out like this in the latter half of your career. Just watching her descend into madness for real. And don't get me wrong, the album is probably great. Queen's probably amazing. I might be sleep, but from what I do know, Good Form is a banger, Majesty has arguably some of her best rapping and subject matter ever. Chun-Li, as I've alluded to before, is a greatest hit contender when it's all said and done, and Bed was a failed cash grab, and that's it. Just off that and those memories I have of it, I don't care to hear it. But even so, regardless, this new shit has to shit on that, be miles ahead of it, if it even wants to be adequate and on the level of the Nick we love and remember. Cause like I said, now she's glowing. She's in the good graces of everybody again. It's cool, and not fighting words to say you're a fan of hers. It's collaborating with not just more people outside of the usual artists, but brands, has a label, and is not 800 some thousand pounds like last year. What the hell was that all about? Her presence is a presence. She's appreciated and is seen and treated as she should be. A queen. It's already known, not said, not needing to plaster it on an album where the promo for it was taken off on the Pump It Up rapper. And like, what was all this for? She's bigger and better than all this. It's like a gorilla crying about a mosquito bite. Motherfucker, if you don't go climb that building, snatch up that little white girl, beat your chest, and install that wig on properly. Wait, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, you were running and are still running shit to this day. At that time, on an 8-year reign, fully taking sole control of the female rapper market, she came to monopolize the game, seeing non-stop praise for it, both within her lovely community and as well as the industry, in her circle, major platforms, and her top-tier rap peers, and now just us seeing the end result of that time she was running shit in almost every single female rapper that came after her. I mean, she had some points, and now has some clips that are some admittedly classic moments and are genuinely comedy gold.
Now who wanna suck my pussy?
That time, man, it really made me think, was this all she could offer? After having that iconic run 8 years in the game, could she only roll out an album or music? Could she only be in the news for when she's getting at someone? Being the 40-year-old mean girl bully that everybody says she is, like she doesn't have a foundation, a brand, a diehard fan base that were honestly slipping with every tweet and bass-boosted hour-long podcast expose on the nigga family, kids, insecurities, and deepest, darkest secrets she dropped. Like she didn't have a legacy to uphold, leaving me to question, where is your music? But I stand corrected, as it's here. The music, the vibe, the aura, the hits are here in all its glory. So we'll see. She held the female rap game down for a solid 10. Solo. And the minute when that changed and she wasn't the only one, she was mad. Mad at these haters and seemingly hate comments that I have yet to see, at the new girls for not kissing up to her, and these things beneath her for what? What more else do you have to say? Did I miss something? And all of this just speaks for itself. In essence, Joe, say the line.
Have you ever been bullied for 12 years straight?
Nick, you have not been bullied for 12 years straight.
Wow.
Bullied?
And see, and
You
that's
saying that to Joe fucking Budden?
But even all that, I say all that to say this. It adds to what PF2 could be. All the things Queen was supposed to be, but wasn't. Or maybe, and maybe that time, that era was needed. Reflection, so that she could see that in herself. Now she tells an audience to shut the and they cause she's a GOAT. She's truly one of, if not greatest, fuck a female, greatest rappers alive. On Ja! And she proved that to me when she hung the previous reigning queen, Lil Kim's body on display. Plasma, okay, I'll stop. But it's undeniable now. And alright, you may not be able to tell this from her music or lyrics or anything, but she very much thinks so of herself. And in this state of her career, and with this album, Pink Friday 2, she can further prove that to any of the naysayers that shouldn't even exist after a decade and a half of her running shit. But it's weird, cause now she has nothing to prove, nothing to gain. She's done it all, said it all, you think. Won the awards, out-rapped some of the best, playing mind games rent-free in bitches' heads for so long, and now it's like, what's left? What else? What now? What for? Doing this sequel 10 years later. Well, which look, I usually kinda fucking hates when niggas do, and it be worse. Motherfucker wanna drop part 2 to a goated album 10 years later. Like, dude, you are not that same guy anymore. Let it go, or name it something else. If you couldn't tell, due to past experiences and many failed sequels, This shit makes me nervous, but she's doing good now so far, and is supposedly dropping a modernized version of the Pink Friday album. She's off to a good start. Almost everything to a T she's been doing leading up to this. I can't lie, I really feel as though we're getting into something of that echelon and that vibe of the fun and creative, non-problematic Pink Friday era. Cause we got the singing, we got the rapping, jaw-dropping videos, classic looks, sassy, weird moments, and it has the potential to be perfect when it's all out. She shouldn't go out bad. It should keep going, if anything. Pick up on the, I don't want to say slack, but the lack of what her current music has to what made everybody's favorite album of hers, because that is her best album, nigga. If this is it, bringing it all back. Cause the last thing you want is that Eminem revival thing. In all seriousness, I'm really excited for this, for whatever's to come, especially the solo pop singing shit that she sort of abandoned and strayed away from for so long since the Pink Friday era. And if you really want to stretch it, I guess you can say 2017's Regretting Your Tears. But that was just alright and got overshadowed by her reply to Remy Sheether. And to think she was never gonna return to that is wild that we could and are getting that again. And nah, not just like Moment, not just like Save Me or Super Bass, my personal favorite song of hers, cause Shut the Fuck Up is a hit for a reason. I just love how she just seamlessly blended her always so shocking great singing with that effortless, orgasmic rapping. We don't need that exactly, but something like it in a much different way. It is a new day, and the fact that we could get something like Super Bass again is a lot to live up to, and just gets me hard, I ain't gonna lie. In a new modern way with relevant sounds of catered to an audience of the 2020s. And I don't want to add unnecessary pressure to this release, but she named it that, and Pink Friday is the imprint, and she almost has to live up to it, or I don't know. But hey B, how should she go about doing that? Making this album work in the sense of being the sequel and living up to that career-defining masterpiece. What should she do in it, since you know so much? Well, first things first, I'll eat your I ain't gonna do y'all like that. First off, easy, she should finally get that duo in with Drizzy, as how long has it been since they've collabed properly? I think it was that only hit with Wheezy, but even that was half a decade ago, and his voice was annoying as hell back then, and that's coming from me. Plus the nigga was allergic to swag or something, and no beard. But the main one, the only collab we ever really cared about from them, Moment, was over a full decade ago and then some. We need to see where they at now. They can easily put together a classic today, being rap royalty, the king and queen of it all, and even back in the day, you could tell they was close and had that bond and connection with each other that'll never go away. They came up together, facing the pop rapper allegations head on and beating them years later together. But hey, what do I know? Drake still might be holding a grudge after she played bro for an entire decade, saying that she was his dream girl. You can see bro finna jump out his seat at the end of the Anaconda video with all that just for her to start fucking Meek in front of him. But Nicki wasn't the only one to leave Drizzy hanging like he was Drizzly.
Nicki, did you just tell a weather joke?
But Miss Fenty. Fly should at least be top 5 on everybody's ranking of the PF1 album, right? Makes sense? Okay. I think we can all agree that the best new artist of the year, Ice Spice, deserves at least a song or two on there, honestly. This year, helping getting Nicki not 1 but 2 top 10 charting hits, and it seems like Nick really likes the girl. Not because of this shots, embracing her, but just look at the vibe they have in both of the hits they have. It's just fun. She kinda co-signed her somewhat early, taking her under her wing, remixing her track. Mom and daughter feels for real, or auntie and niece. I'm just gonna stop trying. She proved herself in being able to work with Nick, making a genuine good song, making a hit out of it, and keeping up with her in ways which many can't say. I mean, she got her Grammy nominated for the first time in 6 years or so. Like, even if it is the same vibe as Diana or Barbie, or some different drill bar heavy shit, I wouldn't mind it, as you can't deny the superstar aura they both possess on the track, like it or not, having 2 of the biggest songs this year because of what they did on it. Wheezy would be nice, of course. I know he's dropping, or he already dropped. Imagine a Flo Milli joint, Doja Cat. She's got her own artists under heavy on it that could use that platform and in where better than the send-off, but it don't gotta be stacked, as she sure as hell doesn't need the assistance. This could be solo and be just fine, but if there's anyone she needs to bring back on Pink Friday Deuces, it's Roman. Yes, cause this needs that and those other parallels that connected to part 1. A Dear Old Nicki part 2 for the intro, where she's talking about the old Nicki of 2010, from living the life of a pop star versus now flourishing in the life of motherhood. I don't know. Moment 8 life? Did it on they, them? Safari, shut the f up! Callbacks, dude. Like, listen real quick. Come on a cone. You dirty bitch. The second track off Roman Reloaded. As bad as that song is, right? Her vocals are all over the place. That overproduced, overbearing, overgrown beats. The way she just starts singing at the end like she's just finished a Broadway play. You don't know what the fuck is going on. Niggas bouncing around trying to look hard in a Nicki Minaj music video. Black China looked human. Tyga. You just didn't know what to expect from it next overall. It's horrendous, almost gives me an uneasy feeling. And it works. It's amazing. I love it. For its on the surface flaws and all. This is Roman living in their full truth. I wouldn't want it any other way. The weird, different, animated persona and not so conventional looks is the other half apart from the music. Why she even blew up? What made her stand out from the so many other bar-heavy females at the time we don't even acknowledge now. Cause she was brave enough to do things like this, dress like this, sound like this, say that. It was her and only works for her for real. Cause Come On a Cone is a trash ass song for anybody else.
Yeah, my rap is so cold, it should come on a call. It should come
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
And it's what's missing now. So I can't believe I'm saying this, but goddamn it, if there ain't no coming on cones, you can count me out, dawg. She can also use this album to prove why she's always been a main pop music girl, no matter what genre she was actually making. Like I said, I've always been surprised at how good her singing is, and how she should make that kind of music again, but it at least has to make sense as a sequel, and double down on the reasons why we know and fell in love with her to begin with. Roman Reloaded is ultimately the more underrated and well-rounded of all of her releases, with solid rap cuts, and that one with the damn Avengers assembled on it, but unfortunately had just as much of some of the most annoying, sort of generic pop dance cuts that kind of screwed up the entire Pink Friday experience for me. I want her to go back to singing and all, but have fun and bring it back, make it make sense, creative, not the terribly generic pop shit, cause she's so much better than that now. Especially, she don't need to go pop, like unique but specific to her, less beautiful sinner, but more like Roman Holiday. And did I forget to mention super bass? More super bass.
It's Barbie bitch.
It's Barbie.
Take advantage of the name. Like, don't just name it that cause it's popular or sounds cool. Give us the experience and nostalgic feels of before. I know it seems demanding of the kid, but shit, she named it part 2. Don't look at me. Just tie in the loose ends. She's in no position to flop. There's no need for lackluster music trying to piggyback off of something that was successful, as at least on the week of, the month of. No matter what, this won't flop. The Barbs for show ain't gonna let this one flop, as they've always proven that to me time and time again. I mean, y'all let Trolls hit #1. Fuck y'all. So the song's doing numbers, so you gotta use marketing strategies, clickbait using other artists' names on songs just for those songs to be boring 3-minute phoned in verses is not something that I don't think any of us want to see. But what the only concern should be is the actual quality, staying power, and undeniability the record holds itself, and that will make outside fans like it. Kinda like me only finding and listening to Pink Friday 1 about 4 or 5 years ago in its entirety. This experience should be kinda like, and it's funny that I bring up M again, with his 2013 sequel to his true breakout 2000 album. The Marshall Mathers LP2 was the perfect ending to his career and was executed just how you would want it. And if y'all aren't familiar, because of course, it felt new. It wasn't just a rename, rehash, a desperate attempt to capitalize on some nostalgia. There were great beats as usual, but modern, current, fit the landscape of 2013, whilst making sense into working with the evolved, modern day Eminem style, complemented with these untapped in concepts he'd never tackled before. No collabs with Dre, Snoop, etc. Exhibit, the stars of yesteryear, but a goated collab with current rap king K-Dot, rapping with a purpose and with his speed and aggression 29-year-old Marshall could not hold a candle to in a way he could never rap before, expressing himself differently. The album had mega universally known charting hits, reaching heights that some of the records on the original Diamond CD never did. I hint at all these differences, but at the same time, it felt like he was back to form, back home, not only literally with the cover, but the 40-year-old grown-ass man had once again for the last time doused his scalp in peroxide for that bleached blonde look he became synonymous with in the early 2000s, owned for a while, and blew up with, paying homage to his 28-year-old self, yet while now showing that he's levels above him. Don't even get me started on the content itself, with way too many lines and borderline sequels to tracks referencing the 13-year-old album at that point, brought back characters, completing their stories, starting new ones, and finally, after 13 years, 5 albums, rapped alongside his evil twin Slim Shady. It was perfect. And then revival. But y'all get it. Go out while you still got it, while you're still liked. Go out in the best way possible. And since I touched on covers, I honestly think this cover would have been even more goated, but I guess this is fine. It's pink, I guess. All this has to do is make sense as a sequel. Become a full circle moment for Onika's career. This ain't just another album and shouldn't be treated as such. Now it must possess the energy of its predecessor. Have the solidarity and solidification of Pink Print. I ain't forget about you. Blah blah blah, something good queen. Stay far away from Gutta Gutta and you'll be good. Then she can go drop all the compilation greatest hits albums she wants in the next few years. Become one of those reality TV show hosts, kinda like this guy. I don't know, it suits her. Be a mentor. Run her label. Terminate Queen Radio, cause that mess ain't doing no good for anybody since 2018. After this, do a tour like Renaissance, cause she is a legacy artist, a rare breed to find nowadays, and in my eyes, is just as big as Beyonce, with very similar, probably identical fan bases consisting of the same people, more remixes, bodying niggas beats for them, or go play fake gangsta at 45, or whatever. But do this first, to perfection, please. I want nothing to be left desired. A plate ate up, square root of 64. I don't want to see no meat on those bones. This has to be the one, the final one. Even if it does take time and gets delayed once again last minute, which I'm sure it will.
I had a dick.
Or if a deluxe is needed, so be it. Cause I'ma say it one more time. Pink Friday could be the perfect ending to Nicki Minaj's career. Or I don't know, maybe Queen covered all this and then some, but I don't care. I'll never listen to that.